Welcome back to Under Oath. This is two attorneys arguing. Sometimes Craig and I agree. Sometimes we don't agree. Billboards. Now, we used to have a problem with billboards. Used to hate them. Used to drive by some of these things and going, this just doesn't seem fair. It seems like they're making promises. It seems like they're doing stuff. You know, that's not what it is.
They're setting expectations. Even though they claim in like tiny little letters that you can't see, this is not typical, or this isn't representative of all clients. Your case is individual, and it's so small you can't read it.
Now, since I got my eyes done, I can read it.
You can read it.
I'm going to do Dr. Filatowski.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. I was not paid by him, and I clearly didn't get a discount.
Really?
Yeah. No.
I would have thought that he would have given you a discount.
Nope. And you know what?
Did he?
I don't want a discount on my eyes.
Yeah, I'm going to pay extra.
I'm going to pay extra so that you care a little more. I don't want him to go, this guy used a coupon.
How much do 10 people cost? Okay, I want to pay that price.
I'm going to tip you when you're done.
Spend the amount of time that you would spend on 10 other people on me.
I don't want to do anything as a discount. Now, people, they fly to different countries now to get these services for cheaper. Like if you want like veneers, you can go to Colombia, you could go to Mexico. And then what comes out is sometimes I see people come out of these places, they come back and they got like horse teeth. And they're like, hey, roo. And I'm like, what the hell are those chiclets you got in your teeth? And the guy will be like, no, it only cost me half. I'm going, yeah, I know. You know, I think you have to pay more for the bigger, less for the bigger ones.
Do you know, I've seen so many people who get there. People, look at me when I tell you this. You can take it too far. You can do the whitening thing so much that we can't concentrate on what you're saying anymore because your teeth are so artificially white. All we can think about is how odd it looks. That's like perfection. Don't do perfection.
You never know.
Don't do perfectly
How do you know
white.
what perfection is? How do you know what it is?
Because you're blinded by their teeth. You're like,
how do you
my
know?
Goodness.
You're trusting the person who's doing it.
Because it's not natural. But you can tell by looking, it's not natural.
Now, I've been watching.
You see hundreds of thousands of people every year, and you see all kinds of teeth, and when they're that unbelievably sparkly white, you can't concentrate on what they're saying anymore.
Sometimes they're done in a certain way where you're going, those teeth look good. And then you're questioning. It's kind of like...
Who's that?
Certain people get enhancements. And sometimes when you see an enhancement, you're like going, no way. But you're not actually bothered by it. You're just going, no way.
NFL today, there's some fat guy. And
he
had him done.
Every
he had him done. And he starts talking. And even if he's making a good point, I can't hear the point he's making because I'm so distracted. Like, oh my God, does this not look fake? It's like seeing a guy who's like 110 years old come in. He's got this huge span of hair everywhere. And you're like, come on.
You're talking, he's got the wig? He's got the wig?
Yeah.
Yeah, hold on.
Like
I'm not upset. I'm not upset. I'm not upset by people trying to make themselves feel better.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, and not me either. I do the same thing.
How do you know when
but
somebody
when you
doesn't
go
want?
overboard, it's the overboard. It's
how
not.
Do you know
I don't begrudge
is?
People who like, hey, I want to improve. That's great. You should want to improve. You should want, and it's great that your appearance is important to you. But don't go so over the top that we are so distracted.
How do we know when that happens? How do we know when that happens?
We can tell.
I mean,
it's the guy on NFL Today, the fat guy.
Could you stop with the fat guy?
They know who I'm talking about. The audience knows who I'm talking about.
There's lots of fat guys on things. But, why is it okay we make fun of people's weight when it's a man?
I don't know.
It doesn't fair.
It just is.
It doesn't seem fair.
It's funny.
It doesn't fair.
It's kind of funny.
It is true in comedy. When I do stand-up, I see a fat guy hit the stage. I'm like, I don't want to follow him.
Fat guys are kind of funny.
And you know why? Because audience want to laugh more. They just look at the guy and they're ready to laugh.
It's kind of disarming because you know the guy is not arrogant. Or he's at least less. He's at least less arrogant than he otherwise would be. There's a good-looking comedian on stage. You're like, oh, this guy thinks he's something special.
Yeah,
this guy might be better than me. I don't like looking at people that are better than me. I want to laugh with people who I think, oh, okay.
Yeah, I lost 40 pounds, so I go on stage now. I'm like going, I got to be a little funnier. Because when I was fatter, I can make fat jokes.
Do you find that people laugh less now that you've lost weight?
Yeah, the joke's got to be good now. So
fat people have an advantage in comedy.
Yeah.
So why is it okay to describe a guy as fat and you wouldn't do that with a woman? Like that fat woman Well, because it's descriptive, and we know that men don't take it personally.
You just said big fat guy. I mean, you had no
men
problem
don't take it
describing.
personally. Like a fat dude, like you say, hey, there's a fat guy over there. He will hear you and go, oh yeah, are you talking about me?
It's chivalry.
It's not an insult.
It's chivalry.
It's not.
We do view women different. We want to protect them.
When you say a woman's fat,
yes, you want to protect them. Yeah.
Now you're trying to make her feel bad.
And you know what?
You're not trying to make a dude feel bad when you call him fat. You're just describing him.
I believe in respecting women, but I'm also believing, hey, they should be paid the same amount too. So it's not like I'm like going keep them in the kitchen. No, I mean, I am stuck on things. I will open a door, and you ever open a door and the person goes, "I got it."
You know, I have a whole philosophy on opening.
Oh my God!
I have a whole philosophy.
Oh my God! You're standing there holding the door. You're going.
I don't care. I don't care if you got it. This really, honestly, at the end of the day, isn't as much for you as it is for me. I feel like I am a better person if I put other people's priorities ahead of mine. Like if I treat people in a way that I think is well or good or showing respect, I don't care how they perceive it. Like if I'm opening the door and the lady's like, oh, I don't need a man to open a door for me. I'm perfectly capable.
No.
I don't care about that. I am opening the door because I feel better about myself because in my heart, I am trying to show you respect. If you take me trying to show you respect and you somehow in your brain twist that around into being disrespectful, that's a you problem. I'm still going to hold the door. I don't know what to tell you.
Do you know what it's like? It's like when people wish me a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And I go, Merry Christmas to you too. I don't go, I'm Jewish.
Well, yeah, because you know that they're not trying to denigrate.
Because there's a douche factor.
But they're not trying to denigrate your religion. They're wishing you well. And you recognize, oh, here's somebody who is what they're really trying to do is wish me well. They're not trying to say, hey, you should be Christian and being Jewish is wrong. They're not saying that. And you know that. But if you wanted to, you could twist that around in your head.
Oh, everyone twists it.
Yeah.
Everyone has their issues. I mean, we have stuff going on right now.
We got to get back to the world where we take the speaker's intentions into account.
God.
Can we do that? Can we go back to that world? That's how it was in the 80s.
You know why we can't? Because people are stupid. And then I got to figure out what this moron's trying to say. No. I hear it all the time.
You don't have to figure it out. Assume that they have good intentions until they prove otherwise.
No.
That's not true. You just said when someone says to you Merry Christmas, you say Merry Christmas back. You don't.
I do.
So you're assuming that their intentions are good.
I'm not assuming anything.
Well,
I'm just not starting a problem. I don't need a problem.
Well, you should assume that their intentions.
I'm being polite. I'd be polite to a-holes. I got no problem with that. And
you recognize the person saying Merry Christmas to you is trying to be polite.
A-hole. I don't know.
It could be.
I'm going to be kind. I'm going to be thoughtful.
And that's what that person's doing. They're just being kind.
You know how many times I wish somebody a Merry Christmas? I don't like walk up to random strangers and go, Happy Hanukkah. It's just crazy.
Do you ever say Merry Christmas?
All the time.
First?
All the time. One of the first of what? Yeah.
Are you the first one to say it? Hey,
yes.
Merry Christmas.
I have been. I assume they're not Jewish.
Fair enough. I mean, so your assumption
The
calculation.
math is with me.
I will assume some things, but not other things.
We make up less than 1% of Orlando. I think we're
Jewish people make up less than 1%?
Less than 1%.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that, where do you get that?
That's a fact.
It is
Google.
a fact.
Google told me. Okay. Rule that people from majority groups like straight or white individuals can sue employers if they face discrimination at work. This woman sued.
Hasn't that always been the case?
No, there's certain places that say it has to be, there are certain laws that actually, how can I say it, declare that if you're part of the majority that you aren't protected. And in this case, for example, this woman got passed over twice by two people who were gay. And she said, they're only promoting these people because they're gay and I'm straight.
Well, if that's true, then that's wrong.
And do you know how the Supreme Court voted?
Down party lines, all Republicans on one side, all Democrats.
Unanimous.
Really?
Really?
Even Justice Jackson?
All of them.
Wow.
That's how bad this was. That somebody goes, oof.
Wow.
9 unanimous. 9-0.
I would have bet money that would have been party
That
lines.
was the whole point. I was looking at going, oh my God, how bad was this? You know, we get the little snippets of how bad it was.
Yeah.
But it must have been like nuclear.
Wow.
So
9-0.
9-0. And a lot of when we're dealing with people's arguments, and right now it's a difficult place to be. Our country, everyone's giving opinions they shouldn't give. Probably I shouldn't give them. But then again, I got it right. I'm on the radio.
People tune in to listen to your opinions.
People listen to this nonsense. I think there's
a demand, a small demand, but a demand for your opinions.
Hey, our TikTok does well. I actually hit 170 the other day.
170 likes? Stop it.
Yeah, serious.
On who? On what? What were you talking about?
I was interviewing Kevin Smith.
Oh. Yeah. Now, okay. I don't mean to be mean.
Oh, you're saying that it was because of Kevin?
Of course I'm saying it's because it's Kevin. What was your views before Kevin? Was it 170?
What? Yeah, we had some. It was a big one. But people were.
It was mostly you and definitely not Kevin Smith.
People were slamming Kevin, and I felt bad.
Slamming Kevin Smith? Why?
Kevin because they said he was talking about Harvey Weinstein and his Dogma, the movie Dogma, which he was now able to show. And people were going nuts. Oh, he worked with this pedophile. First off, Hollywood, there were a lot of bad dudes in Hollywood.
Oh, if the criteria is that you can't have worked with a pedophile to watch or enjoy a misogynist
or a Me Too guy.
I got news for you folks.
Yeah.
Most of your movies are going to come off the shelf.
Here's the thing. Watch this. This is real. If you were ever on an airplane with our boy,
who's our boy?
The guy who now they say couldn't have committed suicide.
Oh, Epstein?
Yeah. If you were ever on a plane with Epstein, we shouldn't have to see you again. If you ever rode in his plane. Now, that seems a lot worse than Kevin Smith being financed.
Yeah.
By a guy.
Yeah, it's like having a company and having like a major stockholder being a company you don't like.
It happens all the time. Like I used to be part of this. We used to do an event called Dragon Con in Georgia. And one of the guys who ran Dragon Con was a bad dude. And we didn't know it, but it came out later he was a bad dude. And then he didn't want to give up his shares. And then everyone's like, you need to sell because we can't be associated with a bad dude.
It's like owning stock, though. I mean, like you own stock with all kinds of people.
Well, if you're the majority stockholder and, you got your own Epstein Island, they might push you out.
Dan Bongino said that Epstein actually killed himself.
I know.
I can't believe that Dan Bongino said. If Dan Bongino said that, well, probably is true.
You know why? They showed him.
They showed him what?
They showed him. He got all the data.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I think
he's sitting there trying to rub his knees.
Yeah, I don't think they quote got to him. That guy has been telling the truth for a long time, and if Dan Bongino
could you
says,
stop saying telling the truth the whole time? He's had some fun.
Bongino,
he's a little fast and loose.
No, that's not true.
I know. I've listened to him for a long time. I know it's your thing.
I can't listen to him anymore because now he works for the FBI and he doesn't have a.
So he's the man.
He doesn't have a podcast anymore.
He does. It's called The News. Every night he says something. It's in front of a mic.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, I guess he still is heard almost every day by probably more people this way. But he did have a really good podcast, and he used to talk a lot about how he he couldn't understand how Epstein could have killed himself, and he was pushing that, and then he got to see all the stuff, and he's like, oh, you know what? Hey, the guy killed himself.
But what if now he's part of the deep state?
That's what people were saying. Oh, they got to Dan. They got to. I don't think.
I love the word deep state.
Yeah,
and I'm thinking to myself,
Dan. I don't think they got to him.
And here's the thing: it's not the state is too deep. In fact, I'd like to call it the shallow state because we always see it. It's in our face all the time. Yeah, no. This was BS. This was BS. This was BS. No, it's not BS. But we could have known it was BS because it was this, and we didn't know.
Well, I want to know what is it that they showed. So here's the big question:
we had panels on aliens.
What was it?
Shallow state.
What was it? And Dan, I think, owes this to his audience. What was it that he saw? That convinced him, okay, I was wrong. This guy actually did kill himself.
He did. He said the videos. He said that he watched the videos of people going in and out of the area, not of his place, but the area. So I think that was it. I think we all are wrong
but here's
at
the
some
thing.
time in our life.
Here's the thing. They could have made him kill himself. They could have said, hey, your girlfriend?
Like the Clintons?
You know the terrible things we're going to do to her if you don't kill yourself? And if you're dealing with these kinds of powerful people, they can do it. So you're like, okay, I mean, I really have no choice.
I think I would have, I think if I was in his situation, I don't want to set you guys up if you want to kill me later, but if I was in his situation and I was looking at a lifetime in prison, especially a guy who lived on the level he lived, I mean, he lived big. This dude was flying jets, money, everything.
Yes.
And he goes, what's going to happen?
Countless celebrities.
I'm gonna go to prison where I'm gonna spend the day servicing some big dude. You know, I think he had enough motivation. I think he had enough motivation.